Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our class on personal development. In our previous discussion, we covered the philosophical perspective of the self, wherein 11 philosophical presuppositions were explored about the concept of self development. In today's learning session, we will explore the sociological perspective of the self. To better understand the concept of self development in this context, we will study the theory of social self by George Herbert Mead. Before we move forward, let me present to you our learning objectives for this session. At the end of the session, you shall have been able to explain the relationship between and among the self, society, and culture. Compare and contrast how the self can be influenced by the different institutions in the society. Now, to have a better grasp of this particular theory, it is essential and helpful to have a common definition of sociology as a branch of science. According to Form 2021, sociology as a branch of social science studies human societies, their interactions, and the processes that change them. It helps us look more objectively at our society and other societies. It directs attention to how the parts of society fit together and change, as well as make us aware of the consequences of that social change. Now, moving forward, let us take a closer look of Mead's social self or role taking theory in relation to self development. George Herbert Mead, a sociologist from the late 1800s, is well known for his theory of social self, which includes the concepts of self, me, and I. Mead's work focuses on the way in which the self is developed. His theory of the social self is based on the perspective that the self emerges from social interactions, such as observing and interacting with others, responding to others' opinion about oneself, and internalizing external opinions and internal feeling about oneself. He posited that the concepts of I and me define the relationship of the self with the society, and such are established as humans go through the developmental stages, which he termed preparatory, play, and game. In order to have a better understanding of these concepts, let me draw your attention to the activities entitled Myself Through the Years and the analysis part, wherein you will be made to compare and contrast your old and present self, focusing on the similarities and differences from your childhood days to present. Please check the directions carefully. You might begin working on this during your asynchronous period after the class. These activities can be found in your Edmodo classroom. This is the end of our lesson. Good morning. Thank you for your active participation and see you next class.